if we ready to talk MCU,
All right, I'm like, we already basically got Black Widow out the way, cause man, bro, cause
if we ready
yeah.
to talk MCU, man, we you going to break this into parts too.
Oh yeah, you already know. I'm gonna have to break this to
You're
parts
gonna break
regardless,
down
bro.
Loki one episode, Black Widow another episode, MCU. We
Right,
about to
bro.
get it going.
Right, cause this last episode it just opened up a heck of stuff. Now we getting we getting the what if, and then after this one, what's that one? What's the next one that's coming after this? Oh, it's Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi come on in September, I believe, or
Something
yeah,
like that, yeah.
and that's based off the Ten Rings, and we getting the actual real Mandarin in this Abomination, and it's one more character I'm trying to remember that's like a villain up in this, but I know the Ten Rings and the Mandarin like. Now the fact we in this multiverse now, it's like, bruh, I don't know how they gonna do this Medicare, but I'm like, finally we get to see it because I'm like, bruh, the fact we didn't get Iron Man 3, which is such a big disappointment, like, bruh.
And I was sick. I was like,
If you kind of think about it though, when you look at Iron Man 3 and just take kind of the theme of that right there, it was mostly just like, mimicking what was already there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now look at into and now kind of look into going even further. Look at Hulk. What was that? It was a poor mimic of who Captain America was. Winter Soldier. It was a mimic of who Captain America was. Then look at who was I about to say? You can kind of look at even you almost like you kind of go deeper and say look at who Mysterio is. He's a mimic of who he wants you to think he is. Look at the scrolls. It's a mimic. So when you look at Iron Man 3, it was more like I said, it was just that mimicking portion of it. So where it's like, okay, now like even Ultron is basically a mimic of a mixture of almost Thanos with Iron Man mixed in together. Like it was about mimicking almost. So now it's like, okay, going forward, you're gonna be getting the real thing, you know.
Yeah.
So like for Iron Man 3, I get it, but I mean overall, I think it was just more so. I think it was more so seeing how Tony Stark is human. Like in a sense, he was human. Without his suit, that movie was kind of more so trying to prove Captain America wrong by like, who are you without a suit? Billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. And that's all true, but it's like, but outside of that suit, when you're trying to fight, who are you? You're nobody. So when you look at Iron Man 3, he was trying to do all this without his suit. So now, when you actually take the Mandarin and putting into the Ten Rings, the only thing I got with the whole Shang-Chi thing is actually the Ten Rings, because you look at it and it's supposed to be actual rings on your fingers, but they made it seem like rings on your arm. I know it's supposed to be a more depiction of, I think, what is it, ancient Chinese history?
Yeah.
And like, how they had like their fighting styles with the rings. I get that part, but I still wanted it to be more like, okay, these rings meant more than just that. I don't know where they're going with it, but I kind of wanted it to be kind of more like that.
Yeah, right, yeah. That's what I was thinking, because I'm like, bruh, if you bring in like a character that's based off like fighting like that, it's like, bruh, I feel like that's my biggest problem about the Shang-Chi character, because it's like, bruh, we already know in terms of Marvel who the best fighters is. I don't care how this Marvel studio is trying to do it, bruh, but we know who they are, bruh. And it's like, if you're gonna bring this dude in to make it seem like he can go up against anybody, bruh, you better show he better bring some type of value to this, bruh. Because he ain't about to go up against like a Cap or like a Black Panther. You can't expect he gonna just beat them off the bat like that. That's why I'm like, bruh. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, what type of value did this dude brings to this universe, bruh? Because I can understand that Mandarin and Ten Rings and like that. But in terms of just his character in general, what does he bring to the table compared to all these characters that we invested in at all this time, when we know he's basically just basically a Bruce Lee in the Marvel universe? To be honest, with a Chi. That's why I'm like. That's why I'm kind of like, bro. I don't know what to expect from this character, bro. It's like, I'm hoping that it's like.
I would have rather seen Iron Fist.
That's why,
like
bro.
Iron Fist.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, bruh, we already got most of these team ups already. So it's like, Shane, we don't really know too much about this Shang-Chi character, but it's like they talking about he has some type of connection to most of these new Avengers supposedly. So I don't know. But I just like I can't just see him with all these cosmic characters and vendors that we've been seeing for the last 10 years, bro. I don't even see it. Unless you trying to just build off everything off these new characters they've been building off for in terms of what we've been seeing for the last content for the last year, in terms of these shows and Yelena and all like that. They have him interact with them. It's like a whole new generation of them. I mean I guess, but it's like, bruh, I need to see how like good this dude is, cause I'm like I don't want to see no Liu Kang or Bruce Lee or Jet Li, bro, on like in Marvel Universe, bro. It's like we seen that already, bro. That's why I'm like that. I'm not. That would be bro. He must have some type of special power where it's like he has to bring some type of value to be around the Avengers, bro. So I'm like, bro.
Yeah,
You know what his power is? I already know what his power is, and Drax and Mantis already said it. Kick names, take ass.
Right.
That's what it is. Other than that, I don't know. I'm gonna be optimistic about it though. I'm gonna be open-minded and optimistic because I don't know who Shang-Chi is. I never heard of him until now, so we'll have to kind of check it out and see. I'm for the most part kind of cool. I'm for the most part glad that it's in San Francisco.
Right.
I'm like kind of like Ant-Man, but I'm also kind of wondering like, okay, did these two ever really cross paths? Like, where was he at when Ant-Man was like 50 feet tall and acting like a damn whale? Like, like where was he at? Like, where was he at when the blip happened? Like, are they going to start it off from like, okay, post blip, here he is type? Like how are they going to introduce that? Like, I feel like anything really after the blip is almost of a coin toss. Yeah, coin toss. So it's gonna be interesting. Like, how did Abomination there? Why is Wong there? Like, it's throwing a lot.
Yeah, bro. That's another thing. It's like, bro, you throwing all these big cosmic type of villains in this movie. So I'm like, if you gonna throw all these villains like Abomination and the real Mandarin, it's like, bro. That's why I'm like, we have to see just how, like you said, bro. We just gotta wait and see how much value this character brings. It's like, bro, you bringing like damn near OP characters up in this now. So I'm like, if that's the case, y'all basically saying Shang-Chi must be OP, and it's like, bruh, we really don't know too much about this character, like, just in general. We don't really know, even though I think he's been around for like, I want to say like 20, 30 years at this point now, something like that.
He's been around for a while, but he was just never. I'm not gonna lie, he's pretty much a character that is not so talked about, or even like he, like I don't even think he was ever like I don't even think he was a part of Avengers or anything at like any point. I don't think.
But at all. But I know for a fact how this movie did get started, because it just goes right back to when they was pushing, like how they was saying about the, like how they try to push the like diversity for, like, in terms of like how they was trying to push like the women empowerment for the movies. This actor that was playing the Shang-Chi, like, they said he was like one of the first guys complaining about how like basically how his agent was getting they like props in terms of movies like that, when just like when you're using like their styles and using their fighting and stuff in their like their culture and movies stuff like that. And he was like, but at the same time, the Asians aren't necessarily getting the respect they deserve. So, but it's crazy how you put that out there, and then years later he ended up getting a Shang-Chi movie. So I'm like, I feel like that's really the real purpose of why this movie even became about, just based on politics and the diversity and all like that.
Asian hate stuff, the stop Asian hate.
Yeah,
it, bro. Like,
I'm like, where did this dude come from, Shang-Chi, bro? Knowing that we just been passing a Finley Gauntlet, we shouldn't bring no, like, he really remind me, this character remind me when I seen the comics and like that, bro. You remember that Jackie Chan Adventures TV show, bro, that came out?
Yeah.
That's exactly what this, bro. If you look at his comics, bro, that's exactly what that remind me of, bro. That's why I was like, bro, this is basically Jackie Chan, bro.
You're right, because even the characters, like even the villainous characters look like they.
Yeah, like the sign and everything, bro. It looks exactly like the show,
bro. It's like a Rush Hour, it's like a Rush Hour type movie,
bro.
Like, that's what it feels like. He feel like it's like a Marvel Rush Hour movie / like Jackie Chan Adventures. That's what it feels like. And
that's why I was nervous about this character, because I'm looking at the comments. I'm like, bro, this really felt like Jackie Chan Adventures, bro, just in Marvel or something, bro. So I'm like, I hope they don't do
that's
it
just
this, bro.
Because for me, for Shang-Chi, I'm hoping they don't play it as if he's an OP character, because that's gonna kind of put him in the Captain Marvel, what I call the Captain Marvel state. It's like, okay, she's OP, but it's like, where was she this entire time? What was she doing all these years? Because for Captain Marvel, this happened to her in the 90s.
Yep.
And then possibly maybe even late 80s going into the 90s, but at least
Yep.
happened in the 90s, and then it's like damn near 30 years later, and she pops up out of nowhere and she just starts kicking ass. So if they're gonna do Shang-Chi like that, it's like you gotta be a little more in depth with it, because like even with her, it's like where was she, like what was she doing all these years?
Yeah.
Like
What was
like
it,
it was
fighting
probably
other
to do with the
planets
secret
and all
invasion, but
that?
then it's like what was he doing all this time? I'm pretty sure we're gonna get into that, but it's like if he was able to do if he wasn't able to do this yet because he just wanted to kind of do his own thing, be like, okay, I'm gonna kind of like what's that movie, Ninja Assassin? He's like, I'm not trying to be part of this. I'm gonna go and do my own thing. And now
Yeah.
he's bringing it back. Then it's like, okay, whoever was in control, what was they doing this entire time? Because they had the powers, they had the abilities. So that's why
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want it to be. I don't want him being put into that Captain Marvel phase because number one, because of all that, but also number two, like what you guys were saying as well, with the whole like Asian culture thing, he would deserve more. He deserves
Yeah.
more than just being a regular OP character. Because even Black
Yeah.
Panther to us, he's OP.
Yeah.
But then you see the movie, it's like, okay, he's not as OP as we thought he was, but like he's just like us. But it's like we still got to see him be that character that we all know and love. So for
Exactly.
Shang-Chi, it's like don't make him OP. Don't do that. Actually make it to where he's got some flaws as well. Because
Yeah.
Captain Marvel, I know, has flaws besides just them having to use a model actor as a stand-in because she's got no butt cheeks. I don't do it like that. But there's ways to do it. Like don't make her an OP character.
Yeah.
Don't make him an OP character. Have it to where there are flaws and not just emotional flaws. For the love of God, don't do that. For the love of God, don't do that.
Right.
Hell, Deadpool has flaws.
Right.
Right, exactly. And this is a character that's named Deadpool that supposedly can't even, and he has flaws. So I'm like, you can definitely find. I mean, like you said, we just have to wait and see. I don't want to put too much down on this character because it's like Marvel find a way to make these characters like likable. So it's like, and what, he has to have some type of connection to this Marvel universe. It's just like we just gotta see exactly how. But the fact that the 10 rings connected to it, like you said, it's in the Bay Area, bro. I'm definitely messing with it for surely, bro. I'm definitely want to see how it definitely plays out. I definitely want to see how Wong is fighting Abomination. Now I wonder if it's based off this timeless weird branch that's going on, like how he ended up on this part. It's like, bro, how is he fighting Wong out of all people, bro? How does he even come about, bro? Like, how does he even happen?
Wong get there? Like what talisman was used for you to get there, Wong?
For real, right?
Hey, and here's another thing. Here's the crazy thing about it. The fact that, I mean, because the arena cage that they're fighting in is like not that big, so Abomination has to kind of have some like high caliber self control where he's not just destroying everybody, beating up everybody. Because literally that's what he was. Like Incredible Hulk, he was destroying everything. He was like, I have all this power, and like everybody I see, I'm throwing and I'm flipping cars and I'm doing all this other stuff. And I want General Ross and I want the Hulk. Like, so he had to like mellow out or something like that over the years where he's just like, because Abomination can't revert back to human form like Hulk can. So he had to develop like personality where he's like, he's just like a huge brute. But like, I was wondering, like, how did they get this thing, right? This big OP character in this cage, and he's fighting like the prize money. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm wondering if it's kind of similar to Professor Hulk, like it's actually him, but with Abomination strength. I'm kind of wondering if that's what it is.
Yeah, probably. I'm wondering because Emil Blonsky, like exactly, like his personality's in there. He's just in a whole different body, a big old brute-sized body that's all deformed looking. But, yeah, I don't know. But I mean, I'm sure they'll explain it, obviously, in the movie. And like, I don't know, man.
Bro,
but
there's something. Hey, there's something I just thought about, bro. There's one character they really could fix now since we in this multiverse now. The Hulk,
Quicksilver.
bro. Him too, but the Hulk definitely, bro.
The Hulk.
They could definitely fix him now. If we could see different variants of the Hulk, I'm thinking of Maestro, I'm thinking of Immortal, Planet. I'm thinking of all types of like variants of like Bruce Banner that could be out there now. Like
World Breaker, no, man.
Right. They gotta say that because I'm like, bro, who gonna fix that?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, boy,
Yeah,
that's why
that
I'm like,
Wahlberg need to come like way
at
later
this
on.
point,
But
I
yeah,
definitely would rather see. I feel that's could possibly be Doctor Strange could be like we see different because I was hearing rumors. I was hearing like I said, it's rumors, so it's like. But I remember I was hearing they could say Tom Cruise can play like a version of Iron Man and all like that. Like I was hearing all these cast names and all like that. Like that's why I was like, is it that's to a point we can see like different variants of characters. You know, he was actually supposed to be the one that was actually supposed to play Iron Man, but Robert Downey Jr. ended up
Yeah.
taking it. He was like one of the first,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Let's be honest. Tom Cruise being Iron Man for the first movie, it'd have been all right. They wouldn't be able to do Tom Cruise and Terrence Howard, but I feel like after that, Tom Cruise would have pulled the Terrence Howard and been like, okay, we're trying to have this be an ongoing thing. We're not going to give you $30 million every damn movie. We can't do that.
Yeah.
Nah, it's just the way he was playing. He tried to make it seem like he was supposed to be the main character going forward. It's like, bro, you was Rhodey. You was basically a sidekick, bro. I don't know. In terms of the contract that say he deserved in terms of the bag, I understand that. But when he was explaining the role he was supposed to be playing, I'm like, bro, I don't know where he thought he was going with that, bro. Because there's no way he was going to be going over, literally over Tony Stark, bro. Come on now, bro.
Yeah, honestly, bro. Hey, bro, Brian kills, bro. That one ruined his chance when
He really did, bro.
Snatch.
Because you seem like anything after that, bro.
I didn't hear for the first movie that Terrence Howard was the one who actually got paid more. But then when he was like, yeah, like, you know, they didn't want to negotiate for me to get paid more to be in these movies. So I turned them down, and I'm like, nah, I think they let you go because it's like, bro, you're not the main character.
He's not.
Exactly,
I'm not gonna
bro.
lie.
You're not the main character.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like he really like. I'm not gonna lie. If he would have just been humble, bro, and like just played his role, he probably would have. He honestly probably would have had more screen time because Rhodey kind of had more screen time than like mostly any side character. To be honest, like because he was with Tony Stark, you know. I feel like, and then the type of actor Terrence Howard is, I feel like if he would just been humble and did second movie and kept going, he would have had more screen time, just as much as Rhodey, or just as much as Don Cheadle, probably a little more. And then he would have, he would have made tens of millions more dollars, or probably more as time went on. And then they would have probably been like, you know what, we like Terrence Howard as blah blah blah. Let's pay him a little more. Let's pay him $5 million more, $10 million more this next movie. Like, bruh, like. That was stupid.
He got way above his head, bro. All he had, like you said, all he had to do was be patient, bro. Because if they knew the fans was gonna like him as a character, they knew they had no choice but to put him back up on screen. So I'm like, that's how you would have got your bag.
Bro, like,
so I'm like, bro,
because I really, really, really like Edward Norton a lot, but he had the same issue, like he was complaining too much,
and he got replaced, bro. Like, this was right when the Avengers was coming out, bro. He got replaced quick, bro. Like, when they was really building up the first Avengers movie, that's why I was like, damn, bro, they was not playing, bro.
Exactly, because a lot of
he was even at Comic-Con too, and they still let him go. That's why I was like, damn, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, bro. Because
I kind of feel like with Ed Norton, I think that's the reason why we didn't really get another main Hulk movie was because they didn't want to really risk it because of that.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, that was amazing. And honestly, I feel like he actually, in a sense, as far as Bruce Banner goes, I think he would have actually done a great job. Don't get me wrong. I like Mark Ruffalo. I like him as Banner. He played a great Banner.
Yeah.
I feel like Ed Norton, given more time and the resources that Marvel would have had, he would have actually probably played a better Banner.
Yeah,
and then if they wanted to use him as Professor Hulk, we would have been probably more accepted. And it's still been bad,
but there was some flaws about that second movie, bro. Because if you could tell, if you watched the beginning of that the Incredible Hulk, bro, you can tell they was basically trying to piggyback off that original Hulk movie that came out in 2003 because they didn't really explain how he ended up in the middle of nowhere, you know what I'm saying? But if you remember that last Hulk movie that came out, we know he basically went on the run after that. But then the Incredible Hulk, how he just ended there, it seemed like, in a way, it was a continuation of that, even though it's not necessarily connected to this universe. But it seemed like that's where they would just piggyback off at that point. Because then you have to build up where, like, basically where Bruce Banner was at this whole time, because they already was building up, talking about scientists and all like that in Iron Man 1. So I'm like, I know they had to be talking about either Bruce Banner or anybody that's out there like that. So yeah, bro.
You know what it is? You know what it is? That's basically how they're gonna be able to actually say this is how all these recasts happen. Yeah, TVA.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, he went off his path. We had to reboot
Prune
this
them,
thing.
right? We have the right, yeah.
Because
Right.
that's how that. Did you think about it? Like, okay, kind of going in a little bit back into Loki. Why was it that her Nexus event, which we don't know what it is still, we still don't know what her Nexus event was. Why did they wait so long to do it? And then they basically pruned the entire thing to where now it's like, okay, now Loki is a guy.
Yep.
Not even a woman, it's a guy now.
Yeah.
Damn. I even think of
Like,
it.
think
Yeah.
about that.
Bro, I was just
So
like,
they
damn,
can
I
look
think
at
of
it
that.
to where it's like, okay, yeah, this was the original Hulk, but he went off on his little Nexus thing. We pruned the whole thing, and now it's this guy.
That's true.
Same thing with Rhodey. It was him, but he was tripping, so we pruned him. Now it's this guy.
If that was
That's
like, if
true.
that was the case, I'm like, that obviously
That'd
had
be
to be the
funny.
case for Peter Parker too, because if you're gonna get different variants of Peter Parker, which is like, that's why I would wonder like how they gonna, because I'm like, are they gonna still have the original suits that we seen them in before, or it's gonna be like versions from the comics that we know of, like the old man Peter Parker is like when he has the red jacket on and like that with the symbol on it. Like, I don't know how they'll necessarily do it in terms of variants of these LA heroes that's out there. Cause it's like, bro, you can either bring back the old characters that we've seen before, or it's like you can just make your own version of like that. You know what I'm saying? Just how they brought back the old Loki, like how they had the classic costume on, or you could just have like the original, like we all know, he just got the green and gold suit on. So yeah, bro, I definitely want to see the variants now, bro, because boy, that's gonna be lit.
Yo, with the variants, let's keep it honest though. You know how hilarious it would be if in No Way Home they actually brought back both Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield to be Spider-Man. It's like, wait. What's this whole TVA thing? What are you talking about? Like this whole Nexus event? And then it's kind of like, it's just like a little skip, and it's like, he just explaining. He's like, so wait, let me get this straight. Your Nexus event was because Gwen Stacy died? Yeah, that was my Nexus event. And what was yours again? Well, because Venom was attached to me, my Nexus event was me walking out the store dancing. Like, you know how freaking hilarious that would actually be?
Right, they just explain what happened in their
Like, you know how
timelines.
hilarious that would actually be?
Yeah, that would be crazy. I mean, I don't know, bro. I hope they. I don't know, man. I hope they do this Spider-Man perfect, bro. Like, you got to, like.
Bro, I said if they don't, if they mess this up,
Ain't no
bro,
way.
there's no more hope for Spider-Man
It
films. They mess this up.
It has to be funny, bro. It has to be funny because you got three. Because Spider-Man is a funny character, bro. Like, he's not a Deadpool or anything, but he is hilarious, bro. Like, you got three versions. You got three. You got the original.
You got depressed Peter Parker. You have
You got
one
the
of the
cool
best
punk
actual,
Peter Parker, what's they call the amazing version. So it.
That's it. Like you actually got a great, amazing Spider-Man version, and then you got the one that's well-rounded.
Yep.
So
Yeah, basically
you
the
know,
Avengers
you know
version
how
of Spider-Man.
great that would be. Because like I said, this Spider-Man that we have now, I feel like it's the best Spider-Man that we've gotten mainly because he's young,
Yeah.
and because I feel like he actually has that Spider-Man wit.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Like
Yeah,
Amazing
I agree.
Spider-Man had it, but the very first Spider-Man, I'm like, he was a great Peter Parker. Or anything else,
Yeah.
When you look back, it's like, yeah, he didn't really have that true Spider-Man feel. Peter
Yeah.
Parker, he had down though. He had that
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah, I
is
agree.
true. Yeah. This one is definitely more like, you could tell he definitely had more fun with his character. He just feels more just authentic to playing
Yeah,
Peter
exactly,
and Spider-Man. Yeah. But like you said,
Yeah.
he's a kid. It's like when I was watching even though Toby's my favorite, it was at times it was like, damn, he feel kind of old to be playing a teenager like superhero, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right?
Yeah.
Like, bro, if you see Flash from the first Spider movie, it's like, bro, what was they thinking, bro? Having
Bruh,
Flash look like he was
I know.
35, bro, playing a 15-year-old kid, bro. Like, that was out of
Who do you think
pocket,
you
It
are?
was crazy. I
Who do you think you are? That's so Raven?
Yeah, we said who?
I said, who do you think? Like, who do they think they are? That's so Raven. It's like you're in
Right,
your 20s and
for
you're still
real.
going to play a high school person. Like, come on, man.
Right?
Yeah,
I know,
bro.
bro. That's crazy.
But
It's funny how that Flash, bro. You notice how there's so many characters from even back then in those movies who play like superheroes still now.
yeah,
or, like,
I was about to say he
like,
do
that's
play a
crazy.
hero or something like that, and I forgot who he played.
He played Deathstroke.
He do play Deathstroke. You right.
Yeah.
He do play Deathstroke. You
Wait, he
right.
played Deathstroke?
Yeah, the dude that played
Yeah.
Flash in the first Spider-Man movie. Yep. Yeah, he
Yeah,
do.
he's
Yep.
Deathstroke.
And the
Yeah.
dude from I'm trying to remember. He's from the Spider movies too. He
What?
plays another character from the
Yeah.
DC movies.
And he looks tight too. He looks
Yeah.
he look legit. As
I'm about to
Deathstroke,
say
I ain't
William
gonna lie.
Dafoe. William Dafoe is playing. He plays the Aquaman. He plays in the Aquaman
Yep,
movie too, and he was
exactly,
Green
yeah,
Goblin.
exactly.
Yeah,
It's like what?
bro. If they bring him back, bro, see this is why I want to see, bro. If they really serious about this, bro, this for sure gonna be the best Spider movie. They bring back the original villains, bro, that got killed off though. Because if you think about it, bro, it seemed like even where the timeline is at now, they're going back to a point where even the characters that got killed off, we're seeing is coming back. You know what I'm saying? Like you can probably see them again.
Yep.
So it's like, bro, if we
Yep.
see William Dafoe's Green Goblin, the Doc Ock from the second Spider-Man, bro, like if we see them
Yeah.
interacting
So
where
great.
he's becoming like the leader of the Sinister Six, bro, this will be like this is what we all been waiting for at this point, bro. I'm gonna be 100, bro.
Yeah.
Because if you bring
I'm
back
not gonna lie,
Electro, Jamie Foxx,
Doc Ock is one of the best Spider-Man villains, right up there with Venom. He's right up there.
Yeah.
but when it comes to Sinister Six, it has to be Green Goblin. Like he has to be the just in him and just in general, he's like the if it's not Venom, it's definitely Green Goblin. In terms of like, I feel like when it comes to the death of Peter Parker, it's gonna come down to Doc Ock or Green Goblin. But in terms of the story where it's based off the Spider-Verse or anything that's leading up to Avengers, Green Goblin plays the biggest part of all the Spider-Man villains. He definitely do because they need Oscorp. They need the Oscorp.
Bruh,
Like,
he's also the Iron Patriot.
yep, that too. Yep. Even he,
Yeah,
he.
Yeah, Norman Osborn definitely played. He played a lot of roles. I ain't gonna lie. I thought he was gonna be Iron Man 3. I thought when that Iron Patriot suit.
Oh yeah.
Because remember
Yep.
he's a president at that time, and when he was like walking up, you know, and like he was like being like praised, and the military was like, I was like, bro, is that Norman Osborn? But it wasn't. It was Brody. So.
But you know, if we see
I was
these
like,
characters
yep.
again, you know they're gonna change their looks for surely because that was the biggest
Yeah.
problem about the villains about the like for Electro, Green Goblin suit. Even though I felt they could turn to the Hobgoblin now if they wanted to, and you can actually give Electro like Jamie Foxx. I heard he coming back. You can actually give him like the original yellow and like the yellow suit and all like that now because it's like
just modernize it, make it look a little more like techie and like but like they could do that, like give him the colors and everything.
Yeah,
That'd be tight.
Yeah, they could do this like how they did off the
I ain't saying
game.
he gotta
Yeah.
have a mask and I ain't
He
saying
don't
gotta
even need
get
the
little
mask. Like you said, all he need is like they don't have to do it based off. If they doing it based off like him, like based off the axe, because it's two different versions of Electro. It's like it's the tech where it's like he can use the stuff out of from his hands and his arms and his legs. Like he just uses tech to like just build up like electricity and all like that. And then the second where it's like how he like fell into a little weird little portal with the eels in it, and how he just turned to a little electric thing. Like they'll probably might take it out of that whole MCU thing, bro. If they might do that. Because if that was the case, bro, like you said, it's gonna be variants too. So I'm like,
for Spider-Man though, I'm not gonna lie. What I would actually like as a post-credit scene, I would love as a post-credit scene if Spider-Man lives, that he's like he's maybe out of high school, he's looking for his first career job somewhere, and he actually bumps into Mr. Fantastic. And he was like, "Oh, Peter, I've heard about you a little bit. How would you like to maybe come in intern maybe over here?" And Mr. Fantastic, and that kind of leads into Fantastic Four.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Even though I'm not getting Fantastic Four until future, it's like that would be a great lead into.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
They already said the director for Spider-Man is directing Fantastic Four too. So I'm like, you already know Spider-Man. He plays a big part in the Fantastic Four too. Like he literally was part of a team. Like it was parts where he went on missions with Johnny and with what I'm saying with Reed Richards. Like, so I mean they could introduce them through Spider-Man. Bro, it's a lot of characters that's been introduced through Spider-Man, bro. Matt Murdock, the Punisher, bro. You even got some of the mutants, bro. That's been like not necessarily introduced, but they've been all up in Spider-Man comics too. It's like you can introduce a lot through the multiverse, especially we in the multiverse now. All these characters, like you see how the characters they were trying to introduce, even the Fox and Sony versions of the Spider-Man films and like that. So I'm like, bro, I wouldn't be surprised if we see like some new characters up in that because they've been talking about what's her name, like Gambit. Rogue, like they was talking about they can introduce like characters like them up in here because they've been talking about Gambit for so long. Like they've been wanting. Kevin Feige said he wanted to bring a character like Gambit up in the MCU, like he'll be dope to bring up in here. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, Gambit be tight. Gambit be tight because
That'd be Gambit again. The
Hell
only time we
yeah.
got to see Gambit was from Origins.
And I'm gonna be
And
honest, he wasn't.
the actor wasn't bad.
Yeah, I was
but
about to
the script
say he wasn't a
good.
bad Gambit compared to all the other characters you see in that movie, but I can't believe how
Yeah, the
bad that
script-
movie
the
did, bro.
script-
That movie was supposed to be. It's so many movies like where I thought like, bro, this is gonna be the one. It was just like, bro, what the hell, bro? Like Dark World, bro. I thought that was gonna be like the. I thought that was gonna be the one. Then X-Men Origins, Green Lantern. I'm like, bro, what the hell is this, bro? Like, are you serious, bro?
Bro, I cannot believe they made Parallax like that, bro. That's crazy,
Yeah, bro.
bro.
Even how they try to build that Sinestro character, boy, it's so out of pocket, bro. Like,
Bro, bro, I'm like, hey, the end credit scene was like probably one of the dopest parts about that movie, bro. When that boy
Yeah.
Sinestro, when he becomes Sinestro, like
Yeah,
he pretty
right.
much gives in to the freaking Yellow Lantern. And I was
See,
like,
bruh,
bro,
how they-
and it
I'm like,
went
nah.
nowhere, bro.
Yeah, that just
Like, here's the thing. The reason why I liked that character, like, I like the actor that plays him. So the actor because what was it? Yeah, the actor that plays Sinestro is the same actor that plays Dr. Sivana in Shazam, the villain. So
Oh, is
I
that
was
right?
like,
It's the same
bruh,
dude?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
I didn't even know
same
that.
dude. Yep. So,
Okay, so that must not be
but
connected then. That's the case, right?
no, it's not.
That's why I was like,
that's
bruh,
dope.
that did. I'm like, damn, bro, that's weak, bro.
So it's cool that he got to like come back as another villain, but it's like, bruh, like he would have been. He looked, and his Sinestro was actually like the best part about that movie. Like him and Kilowog were like the most accurate. I didn't know that Michael Clark Duncan played Kilowog. I was tripping.
Yep, But then that just made me, since we bring up the Atlanta Corps, you know who I forgot? Well, we forgot about another person we forgot to bring up in the MCU is Nova. Cause remember, we still got the Nova Corps still there too,
Yeah.
and like they was
Bruh,
teasing Nova
tell
even
me-
at Guardians too.
We still got Adam.
Right, that's why I'm like, I don't know. That's one character I was wondering how they gonna enter. Is this gonna be like the young version of Nova, or is it gonna be like where he's more like experienced, he's
Bro,
older?
I can't wait to see Richard Rider, bro. But they keep playing.
Yeah, bro. I feel like they got to get that one right, bro. Because, bro, that is not easy to make a Nova character. Like, they already got the Nova course here, but it's like they're trying to save up to bring him up in there, bro. I feel like we're to a point where they're trying to kill all the Atlantic Course orbit. That's where he got to come and save it. They'll probably do something like that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I
technically,
don't know how they
Xandar's
gonna
already
do this,
destroyed.
bro.
Oh, it's already. I was just thinking they already destroyed because Thanos. Yeah, bro, you right.
Right? But I'm like, here's the thing though, but Richard Rider had came back to Earth for a point in time until he was summoned to actually become Nova for something that happened in space. So I'm like, but I mean, are we gonna see that? You know what I'm saying? I don't
But the
know,
fact we
bro.
a different timeline, that I mean, he possibly could be in this timeline that we're at now, where Loki is.
That's
I don't
true.
know. That's why I was like, it could be possibly that too. So I'm surprised they never showed. They have not showed Ryder yet. I'm like, bruh, they showed Lily, the whole Atlantic Corps in up in Guardians, but they didn't. It's weird that you don't see the original Nova out of all these people, like, bruh. But it's like he is like
But they show-
he is the young version of like I was thinking because now you fact you got the young Avengers now. You could bring him
Yeah.
in now. Like, this will be a cool time to bring
That's
him in.
true.
Yeah.
So then with all that being said, is it possible that they're kind of doing like what they did with Captain Marvel? Like, you know, they are making the movie, but it's taking place beforehand. So
Yeah.
then with that being said, with Spider-Man No Way Home coming out later this year, is it possible that it's maybe taking place after what happened in Doctor Strange 2? And then that's going to probably what leads into, like, you know, Nova being there. Maybe even that's probably what we're going to actually get, because I'm thinking we're not going to really get another actual Avengers movie until maybe we get something called Young Avengers.
Probably.
Yeah.
So, you know, so that's, I'm kind of like, okay, maybe this could be, I can't really see them doing it like that, but it would be interesting.
Yeah,
Because, like, we're still missing some characters here. We're still missing some. Like I said, we're missing Nova, Adam. We could be missing... Hell, we're missing the first Captain Marvel, aren't we? Because the first Captain Marvel's a guy. So, you know, we got that. Not even really including X-Men. We're like, hell, we
they
got to still
technically
get Daredevil.
did, but in the MC, bro, I ain't gonna lie, they didn't just wasted that dude. I'm gonna be 100 because if you remember that first dude that she basically was with in the beginning, he was supposed to be. They already said he was basically his name was Captain Marvel. Like, he was basically the original. So I'm like, they didn't do it like in terms of the comics how it's like the original one that was before him. You know what I'm saying? Like I think they just completely just wasted it where it's just they try to make Carol Danvers like just the only original Captain Marvel, which is like I guess I mean shit.
Unless they're playing it where he's going to be seen in Captain Marvel 2.
Yeah, because he's not the dude's not dead, and it's like if he wanna, I think they'll which is like it still ain't gonna be as accurate to the comics because it's like he doesn't have his powers. You know what I'm saying? Unless he get it the same way eventually how he got like how Carol Danvers got it in the movie, but it's like he was being supposed to have that. That was the case. I mean, if he was supposed to be the rich, like they, you know, how MCU they'll make their own different little version of it. So I mean, yeah.
And I'm okay with the MCU kind of doing their own little universe thing.
Right.
I'm okay with that. So I'm not going to be too picky with that, especially since I haven't read the comics.
Exactly, right.
I'm not going to be too picky. I'm a little biased with it. I'm not going to be too picky. But at the same time, like you said, there's still some things you kind of have to incorporate. Like you said, with Adam, you can't take out that, oh, I just had these powers all along. No, we're not doing that.
That's true.
You know, we're not doing that. You got to at least have some sort of an origin to go with that. Like hell, Iron Man we didn't just start off the movie with him just saying, "Oh, I got this suit." It's like, nah, like you had to build that up still.
Yeah, build up. Yeah.
You know, it's not you can't do it like with Hulk, where it's like, okay, you show like just like a little clip of what happened, and then, oh, he's now Hulk. Like, nah, like you know, you got to actually do some things. Go a little bit into detail.
Yeah.